Hello. I'm a little bit running behind this morning. Let me see. Good morning. Good morning. How do I do this? Just one second. Why is this so hard for me this morning? View request. Yes. Holy moly.
We're here.
Holy. Okay.
Wait a minute. You don't have your...
I do.
Okay, I'm gonna, you know what? I don't need to send a request. I'm already live. It's asking me to send a request. Anyway, Here it goes. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Raina. Happy birthday to you and many more. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm still working on this.
Look, me too. I'm like, your birthday drink. It is a grande
really
brown sugar oat almond blonde. Blonde?
Grande?
Grande. I don't know. My screen is all weird. I'm like, why is it? It's like
you don't look weird.
Supposed to add a comment. Okay. Shall I do our music?
Sure. Yes.
And I'm wearing a crown. Yeah. I can't tell you how much I love that. I just can't tell you.
You can't.
I just can't.
If this is your first time joining us, we are Wait What?
Wait,
Kathie
what?
And Raina, a mother-daughter duo.
Nicely said.
Thank you. And basically, we are just sharing behind-the-scenes conversations on the scene, I guess, because we're live. What? And we just never know where these conversations will take us. So,
no, because we have no sense of direction. We have no sense of direction. Ain't that the truth? No. So I made us cupcakes.
You did, and I did bring mine. You made quite a few, and they look and smell incredible.
They're a
so
heavy.
They're a dense.
Yes,
they're a dense cake. They've got looks delicious, pink icing, smells amazing. We're not going to eat it on here because sound.
No.
And that won't translate.
You. Soul Space. Sorry, said happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. That is Tiffany. Hello.
Hey, Tiffany. And hi, Leah, if you're still there. You haven't run away. What? What's the matter?
I got icing on myself.
So, why were you late this morning? None of my business.
No, it's just one of those things, you know. I try my best to I'm not gonna lie, I did put on a little Alanis Morissette in the shower this morning. I got a little distracted. I was, singing in the shower, and I couldn't help myself. I really got into it.
Yeah.
And then I got out of the shower, and I was distracted. I really had to dry shampoo the heck out of my hair.
Looking good this morning.
Sometimes you just really don't want to wash it. And a lot of times I don't want to wash it. That's like a big struggle for me. And why I think I want to cut my hair off all the time is because listen, let's not get carried away. I'm not going to do it. I'm just thinking about it. I won't do it.
Thinking about it.
And then so things just got kind of carried away while I was getting myself ready to be here, and then I was like, oh, I've got 10 minutes. I can do my makeup and my hair in 10 minutes. And then I was like, oh no.
Well, the older we get, the harder it is to whip this stuff up. What?
What?
Well,
but I made it.
I know, like this morning was very busy for me.
You
Wednesdays is a crazy morning. Number one, it was your birthday, so I had to send you Snapchat videos of your birthday.
Yes, which were epic, and I loved them. And Brody
I wrote you a
also loved them
song.
as well.
I can't remember the words, but I did write you a song.
Yes, you did. It was beautiful, heartfelt. It was touching.
Well, I had to clarify that I don't just love you on your birthday.
You did clarify that. You did, yeah. Yeah, and then the taco chip stuck in guacamole was my favorite.
Right?
But anyways,
I thought that you would appreciate it. Yeah. Snapchat has great.
My sisters, like, they're so sweet. Sarah sent me a really funny Snapchat video singing me happy birthday like she does. She's a real talent.
She is.
And Jill made me cookies, and I guess they're being delivered tomorrow.
Yes, I'll be picking them up.
So much desserts.
Sorry about that. You know, I feel like, yeah, I was going to get you gluten-free, you know, the dairy-free, the whole thing. I did get you a dairy-free drink, but these cupcakes,
I appreciate it.
They got all the bad things in them. But
well, I'll have a talk with my body, and we'll make sure we're on board.
Well, I feel like, why not just have a stomach ache on your birthday, right?
I mean, it's the gift that keeps on giving, right?
Yeah, we can talk about that another time. So, yeah, this morning I was doing the Snapchat videos with you. I was also, I do Wisdom Wednesdays for Anchored, and I've been doing them Tuesday nights, and it's still the same thing. It's just like kind of where I'm being led. But I just didn't have time. We had a flourish. If you're going to go all the way, baby. Yeah. Anyway, I had this thing last night and I just didn't have time to do it. So this morning I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to do that. I had to do some videos for them. And I just felt like I was running around. But then the most important thing about my morning was I had to get to you to bring you your presents. And I went to Starbucks, and the barista was so sweet. I know, you're real not perfect. It was so sweet. She's like, oh, are you making a delivery this morning? And I said, yes, I am. It's for my daughter's birthday. And she's like, oh my goodness. So she wrote a little.
She wrote this. She wrote, happy birthday, beautiful.
And I know, and then she wrote on mine, you are amazing. And I was just like, I kind of got choked up when I drove away, because I was like, you know what? People are actually really nice if you give them a chance. So I went there. I got you some face masks.
You did.
Under eye. Yeah.
What did you say when you gave them to me?
You need these things as you get older. I'm not gonna lie. You know what? They just feel good. They feel good. You just put.
They do. I'm very excited about those masks. I love those sheet masks. Yeah. One, because this might sound like a weird thing to say, but I always feel kind of like a serial killer when I put it on my face.
Oh, yeah, you love that?
Well, I think it's funny. Others might not agree with me, but I feel like it's funny. And then, like, my kids get scared, and I think that's funny. But also, they just make your skin feel so good for like 5 minutes. It's amazing.
I like the under eye ones because I don't want to have too much.
I haven't tried those ones yet.
Yeah, those ones, because you just put them on and it's just like, I don't know, it just feels great. It's cooling under your eyes. This is not an ad.
Yeah, for the Shoppers Drug Mart Life brand sheet masks.
Well, I have nothing against Life brand, but they aren't that.
I don't even know if that's what you got me.
No,
but
I got you a unicorn one, and I got you a tiger. I got you a tiger and a unicorn.
It was a cute little tiger and a panda.
And a unicorn. I don't think there was a panda.
Maybe I have one that's a panda. I just really like pandas.
Okay. All right. Anyway, so I did that. Drop the stuff off for you so that today we could have our celebratory happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, it is International Women's History Month. Which I feel like women make history every flippin' day. I feel like I make history getting out of bed, you know?
Ew, it's true. Sometimes that is a massive accomplishment in and of itself. Am I right, ladies?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so so we're going to talk about some women that have inspired us, some women in history, and it got us talking about what we're gonna do a little live talking about women like in music, Canadian women, and that's, I mean, probably prompted you to listen to Alanis Morissette. We're not going to go there right now because we'll get in an argument about who we're allowed to talk about.
We will not.
No, we're not going there because that we'll save that for that
another day. But you said you wanted to talk about something today. Did you forget what you wanted to talk about?
Well, no, I'm going to get there. First, I want to talk about you. I want to talk about you, and which I know you're like, no, you don't even do that. Today's your birthday, and you know, for me as a mother and a woman who gave birth to you, this is a very important day for me. Very important day to me. And you know, I just want to say that I know that this can be a sensitive subject for people, and I recognize that. And if this is something that you don't even want to hear, you can stop listening. I'm going to be talking about the birth of my daughter. And it was a beautiful experience. It was a challenging experience. Your father was in the military, and I found I was pregnant with you when he was heading out to go on a tour of duty for 6 months. Hey-o! And I was over 3 months pregnant, probably I might not even have been 3 months pregnant. So the timeline was very dicey of whether or not he was going to make it for your birth. And so my mother, God bless her, she's one of the women that have inspired me, but she said, you're not staying alone. You have a toddler. What are you going to do? How are you going to have this baby? Like, you can't take Sarah with you. I mean, it's not like I didn't have friends who could help me, but it was like, no, I was coming home.
That's really amazing. Yeah. You can't do that by yourself.
No. And so, I went home, shut up the house, and went home. And Sarah and I spent 6 glorious months in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, which is where you were born.
Moose Jaw.
Yeah. And okay, so the funniest story is the day of your birth.
Oh, man.
So I was very excited because that day it was March 10th, and you were due, I think, the 12th. Now your father was not making it back. Like, he wasn't due to come back till the beginning of April. And I mean, I remember just going, please, can I just hold you in for like, but I couldn't. Again, weird. You were early that time. You were like, it was like, and you have your own mind, and it's like, this is what's going to happen. So anyway, I was very excited because we were going to a shower for someone else. I don't know if it was a wedding shower or whatever. And there was a smorgasbord of delicacies that I was about to enjoy.
Saskatchewan delicacies?
Saskatchewan delicacies. Delicacies. No, but they were like cakes and just and these women knew how to bake. And I'm walking into the kitchen and my water broke. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Come on. I'm not ready for this. I have a party to go to. But I had no contractions. I had no, there was nothing else happening. And I looked at Sarah and I said, and she didn't talk much at that point. I said, Sarah, I think you're going to have we're going to have a baby. Like, I don't know what it's going to be, but we're going to have one today. What do you think about that? And she was just like, whatever. Carried on. And so I kind of wandered around, and my mom was at work and my dad was at work. So I'm like wandering around and in the house. I have no wheels. Like, I don't have a car. No, I did have a car. I would have had to drive there. Or maybe they drove me. I don't remember. Anyway, so I'm wandering around the house, and then I started to have contractions. I was like, okay, so this is a real thing. So I called my mom at work. Or no, maybe my dad called. That might have been it. My dad called first. And I said, Dad, you know what? I think I'm in labor. And he's like, oh yeah, did you Heather is saying happy birthday.
Thank you.
did you talk to your mom? And I'm like, well, no, I haven't talked to her yet. He goes, well, I think maybe you should call your mom, as dads would say. Like, not like, do you want me to come
Yeah.
home? Should I?
I don't
So
want
I'm
to
like,
deal with this.
yeah.
Please
So I'm
call
like,
your
okay,
mother.
bye, Dad. So I called my mom at work. This was probably 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And she says to me, she goes, okay, do you think you can hold it until 5, after 5? Because I work till 5. I'm like, okay, sure.
I'll do my best.
Yeah. So then the next thing is the people that are babysitting for me. I called and actually I think I called it because we were having a girl babysit for us, and I said, hey, I just want to let you know I'm in labor. No big deal. But I think she can.
No big deal.
Can your daughter come over a little bit earlier? And they're like, oh my goodness, she's not even here yet. I'll come right over. So the man, her dad, comes over and he's like running around like a chicken with his head cut off. And I'm like, listen, man, my mom's not even here. I'm not going anywhere. We'll let you know when my mom gets here.
Yeah, I'd rather you not be here. Thanks.
He was the only one that was like thinking of it. There was a sense of urgency, not my mom. And I mean, so, and she was right, because you didn't arrive right
Didn't want to
away.
wait.
So we left for the hospital, I think around 6 o'clock, and you were born just before 9 o'clock. And another thing that you did, I had a favorite TV show that I thought I could watch. And no, I couldn't watch that either. It was like I had to pay attention to what I was doing. And the other thing that my dear sweet mother did on the day of your birth, she was a part of it. That was something that was extremely special. I invited her to be with me, and she was so excited. It was very, very special. And during my labor, and here's the thing, is like I was not going to whine. I didn't want my mom to tell me to be quiet and to stop. She wouldn't have done that, I don't think. But I just was like, I got this. This is fine. I'm fine. Anyway, she was reading me Anne of Green Gables, because that's one of my favorite books, and it was one of hers, but I couldn't pay attention, and didn't have the heart to tell her, like, actually, Mom, I'm not listening to you. But
the sweet gesture.
She was so sweet, and so you were born. It was an amazing moment in time, and she was so thrilled. She left the hospital with her hospital booties on, and it was a story that she shared forever, like until she passed away. It was probably one of her most special moments. And her birthday was just a week later. She just felt like you guys were connected. And totally. You look very much like her.
I have heard that. Yes.
Yeah, you do. So anyway, that is the story of your birth. And you slept in a drawer.
You're welcome, everyone.
You slept in a drawer because we didn't have a crib. It wasn't like I didn't close the drawer and put you in there.
Let's specify that.
Yeah, the drawer was taken out. It was on top of this. It was a beautiful old dresser, antique dresser. It was lined. It was cushioned. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful, beautiful drawer to be placed in. And your sister wasn't quite 2, and we lived in a slab, and that was the challenging part. I remember you crying, and I was crying, and Sarah was crying in the middle of the night because I didn't want to wake my parents up. Oh, but anyway, we survived. We survived.
Oh, Heather says that's what we did. The drawer? Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet that's kind of a nice little hack there that you came up with, because
it was beautiful. Actually, my mom came up with it because it was like, why are we going to buy something, and it was really beautiful. I don't think we have any pictures. I wish we did. But anyway, you came along, and you have been this fiery little envelope pushing, not taken because I said so human being since I met you. And I adore you, and I'm so glad that you're here. So that's the story of your birth.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
How it came to be.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
we used a suitcase once.
There you go.
Right?
Suitcase, why not?
I mean, you gotta use what you gotta use.
And when I had kids, we went all out and bought these super, it was a very fancy crib did any of my kids actually sleep in it? No.
You know what?
The answer is no.
Of all the cribs I have gifted people, there's only 2 babies. Well, Sarah says Levi slept in it a little bit, but I'm like, Jack didn't, Nora didn't.
Brody slept in it a little bit, but
Charlie, Leah's little girl, slept in her beautiful crib. Oh, that was a beautiful crib. And Gus sleeps in hers.
Well,
so it was like 3 out of 7. Anyway, so let's talk about, like, who are some women that inspire you, Raina?
Well, I feel like you have a more prepared list than I do. So why don't you go first?
Oh, okay. Well, I could say, how about we talk? Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. I wasn't planning on talking the whole time. On Monday, I went.
It's my birthday.
Is that so good? Best thing in her room still. Oh my gosh, that was like
the princess bed.
So beautiful. I literally, if I could have been a little girl, that's what I wanted. Gosh. And you decorate so beautifully. But
that she does.
Yeah, she does. You are so talented. Talented artist as well. I got a beautiful Wendell picture.
I saw that.
And donations go to help pets.
That's so great.
Leah's amazing, giving back all the time. So yeah, there's a woman that inspires me, Leah. Actually, I'm kind of glad you're there. Leah is a woman that is, oh my goodness, she is fierce. She's an overcomer. She is like so strong, so determined. I learned a lot from her. We shared a lot. Always hold a very, very special place in my heart. And she is the mother to a beautifully funny, vibrant, kind little girl named Charlie. And she's a reflection of her mama. Yeah. Definitely. So I love you, Leah. Women that inspire me. On Monday was International Women's Day. And I got to go to the gala, the virtual gala.
I wanted to hear about that. That's
oh my gosh, it was amazing. Carrie Dahl, who is actually right here in Edmonton, and if you don't know her, I don't know where you've been. And she was a newscaster, and then she retired from that. I don't know if you can say retired from that. But she went into, she's an entrepreneur, and she has a business, and she does public speaking. She's a professional MC, and she is incredible. Yeah, but she's also coaches in public speaking, and she has a Facebook group. Oh, why can't I remember it? It's the Inner Circle, and you have to like kind of apply to get in there. But she is really about vulnerability, and she's about empowering women to tell their stories. And she's probably one of the best interviewers. Like I think she's like right up there with Oprah. Like she will make you cry. Yeah. She will get stuff out of you, but she genuinely listens to what you have to say. And like she's an advocate for women, but she's also an advocate for children with the Stollery. Like she's on, like I think she's like the board chair for the Stollery. And she's also about mental health. She's a mom, she's a wife, she's an entrepreneur, she's a friend. She's a lot, and she's just extremely inspiring. So she was doing the interviews, and Sarah, who I think a lot of people know, the Birds Papaya, was the keynote speaker, and she did an interview with her. And you know, I think a lot of people will look at it, and I've had people say to me, why do I even follow her? Like, why is she posting that? And it's like, she may not be everybody's cup of tea, but she's a woman who really, like, she's an influencer. But she's about self-love and worth, and she has a very amazing story, and she's very honest about it. She puts herself out there. She is an influencer. She gets paid to do endorsements, but they're only things that she feels that she can support. And she talked about this thing that keeps coming up in my life about how women in their strength, and her as an example as an influencer, take that, what they are, make it smaller, make it less than.
Yeah.
Influencer status has become kind of like a joke word. And she said that when, you know, somebody says, oh, you're an influencer, she would like kind of push it down and use a bunch of different other words, or yeah, but I'm this, or oh yeah, no, it's no big deal. And why can't we step into our own worth?
I think,
Go ahead.
I think I was just going to say, I think that's so important to talk about because, like, even when you were introducing her and talking about how she's an influencer, and you kind of feel like you have to sort of give precursors or like explain around that because it seems like it's not legitimate, or it's kind of frowned upon, or, oh, you're selling out because you're being sponsored. And it's like, no, like we shouldn't be treating other women that way or judging that, because it's a legitimate business. It is a legitimate way to earn a living. And if you're good at it and you can earn an income on that, like that's something that you should celebrate and be celebrated for, and not feel ashamed about.
Totally. And
you know, like if, yeah, because you think about men in sports and their sponsorships, and even women in sports too. Like you think about the sponsorships that they receive and the commercials that they, like when it just used to be about cable TV, and you would watch all these endorsements and commercials and all these things going on for athletes, and that was never questioned. They were influencers, like if you really think about it. So it's the same thing.
Totally.
Right?
And well, that whole thing brought up, okay, I am a huge fan, a new fan of Abby Wambach. She wrote a book called The Wolfpack. And I actually don't have it. I gifted it to someone because I just felt like it's such a good book. And if you're a woman, you're in leadership. I don't care. You are in leadership of some form or other. And she writes about this pro athlete, this other soccer player, because Abby Wambach was a professional soccer player. She retired from it, but she was one of the top. Actually, she has scored the most goals out of any man or woman in soccer, in professional sports. Like that, she's notorious. Anyway, she said that when they were practicing, it was a young team, and this very elite athlete came, a soccer player came and played with them, and she was coaching them, and they had games, and a game, and she was coaching them as they were playing. And then the ref called out, like, we got 5 minutes left. And she realized at that point, this other woman, and I think her name was Michelle, realized that her team was losing.
Yeah.
So, and it was the kind of game is if you scored, you got the ball automatically. The ball went to your net keeper, so your goalkeeper. So she got they scored, and the goalkeeper gets the ball, and she looks at, oh my goodness, the goalkeeper gets the ball, and she looks at the goalkeeper and says, give me the effing ball. And the goalkeeper goes, okay, I'm going to give you the ball. She gives her the ball, and this girl just goes through everybody else and scores, gets the ball again, says to the goalkeeper, give me the effing ball, goes. And she does this until she wins the game. And what Abby said was she never realized until that moment how she had played her game at 75% because she didn't want to make other people uncomfortable with her power.
Right.
And how she just wanted, like, it's all about teamwork. And this woman who took the ball had been leading and coaching. And then there's pivotal moments in our life and in our leadership where we have to take the effing ball. Yeah, I love her. She is amazing. The book is short, and it's super poignant. It's like there's 7 points. And the other part about it is she's not saying we should be lone wolves. She's saying we need to be in a wolf pack, like women together and united. So she's really impacted my life at almost 60 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that she's so inspiring, and I definitely have it on my list to read that book because it sounds really interesting. And her partner, Glennon Doyle, is another woman that that we both really, really love. And I've read,
Yeah,
you know,
Glennon, we're cheetahs. We're cheetahs with Glennon, and we're wolves with Abby.
I actually, yeah, cheetahs and wolves, man. I remember when I started reading that book, I was listening to it on Audible because I do a lot of my books, audiobooks, because attention span and multitasking and all the things. But I was listening to her book, and when she read the part about the cheetah, I had such an emotional reaction to that.
Oh, yeah.
I cried. I was like, oh my God, like the way she like compared and kind of encompassed all the things I think most women feel was just so powerful. The imagery of that was so powerful and so bang on that like that first little snippet of the book, I was like, man, if the first like part of the book hits me this hard, like I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this. And it actually did take me quite a long time to get through the book because I had to stop and like digest what I was taking in. And she has such a beautiful way of explaining things and sharing her story in a way that just really allows you to understand and get a deeper understanding of humanity and our struggles and how beautiful it is and how painful it is to be human and what that experience is like. And I think just her, I think of her as one of those women who gives us permission slips, like how I think it's Brene Brown who talks about permission slips a lot, but like gives us permission to feel our feelings and be real and who we are without having to apologize for that, without 100%. Watering ourselves down or, you know, tucking in our too muchness and just like not being ourselves, right?
And Abby's book is leadership. It's not it's very, very short, and it is such an easy read. Like I have the book, and I gave the book away, but I'm getting it again because it's that good. I really want to keep it. But it's a real easy listen. I have the audiobook, and I went for a 5K walk, and I heard the whole thing, and she's got 7 really important points, and I loved it. But I want to get back to Sarah from the Bird's Papaya, because she talked about confidence, and I loved this statement. I never thought of it this way, because I think of it like I think of stepping into something that I don't know yet, that I don't feel qualified for. Fear has never stopped me, but I never thought of it in this context. And she said, confidence is not a feeling. Confidence is moving forward, even if you're afraid, but you do it regardless. And like she said, you can be standing in the corner, shaking in your boots, and still go out and do it. That's confidence, not a feeling, it's doing. And she talked about a woman who was an influencer, and they were at this conference when you used to be able to speak in front of thousands of people, and she was backstage watching this woman pace back and forth, just so nervous. And she's like, wow, this, like, she had looked out and saw people around the block like that lined up forever to come and see this woman speak. And she even took a video, and she's like, look, like, what's wrong? Like, I don't understand. And this woman is just like pacing and pacing. And then the curtains open, and she walks out, and she's just like, boom. Like she was right where she was. But she said the point was she cared enough about the people and also about herself to be nervous. It wasn't just about them, it was about her too. She brought game. So I was like, oh my goodness, it's true. How many times have you stepped into something that you know you are not qualified for, that you have just been thrown into, but you really feel called to do it? And you are shaking, and then it's like, it's where I'm supposed to be. Even if you screw up and fall on your face, you know? So I thought that was a very, very profound statement. It's like, confidence is not a feeling, it's a doing. And so many of us do that. We have confidence, we just don't call it that.
Yeah. Well, and I alongside the Birds Papaya, another person that I follow on Instagram who's actually like an actress, model, writer, activist, you know, like all of these other things. But I didn't know she existed until, you know, a few years ago, finding her on Instagram. Her name is Jamila Jamil. I might be butchering her name, but her Instagram is I Weigh, and she's this British activist who,
yes, I follow her. She's amazing.
Oh, she's incredible. She's about
ballsy.
Yeah, she really brings to light all of the things that people are really afraid to say out loud, to talk about. And she's I can't remember what show she's on, that The Good Place.
Yes,
she's on
The Good Place. Yeah.
And she's done so many things, but she's so vocal and so vulnerable in her, like, in sharing her own journey, which she gets a lot of backlash for.
Oh yeah, she's hated.
You know, and just all about promoting acceptance of yourself, no matter what you weigh, no matter what you look like, and just a lot of information and activism surrounding dismantling the patriarchy and feminism and all of these things. She's a real supporter of women and people in general. And she's just really fearless. And I find her so inspiring, and I love following her because I always learn something, and I always feel empowered when I read her posts or see what she's putting out in the world, because it's really, really important. It's a lot about mental health. She's shared very openly, and even recently with what happened with Pierce Brosnan. I just butchered his name. You know who I'm talking about, the British journalist who's fired because he's a total, I won't say it.
Yeah, I know. I have it in my,
you know about, if you've heard about it, you know. And she shared openly about how she, you know, was having suicidal thoughts and really struggling because of him running her name through the mud in the media and all of the things, you know, and just being, you know, vulnerable enough to speak on that and share openly.
What's your Instagram, please? Can I add
Instagram
that?
is I Weigh, I believe. Let me just see here. And we can put it in the notes.
Yeah, we will, definitely. And we'll, you know, we could tag a post of hers. We could put a post up.
It's at I_Weigh. WEITH. And she is all about just radical inclusivity. Really about making sure people don't feel alone in their struggles, being true to yourself, and just taking away the stigma from all sorts of injustices about people's identity and people's worth. And it's really important work that she's doing. And I really support that and think that she's incredible. So
and
if you haven't followed her, you should.
And I would say, you know, these are, like, I think it's really important to broaden our outlook. Like, you know, you might be uncomfortable with Sarah, or you might be uncomfortable with I Weigh initially, and it might not be something that you want to see all the time, but there is poignant, and you might be uncomfortable with our conversations. But, you know, what I always ask of people is to listen, to learn, and try not to formulate an answer. Just listen to learn, and then like kind of absorb it. You don't have to agree. It's just, and I think that that's a lot of what I Weigh is talking about, and so is Sarah. And there's so many out there. And I know for some people, Sarah, there's so many pictures of her with not very much clothes on. And she talks about how that actually happened, and it was with Nick's wear. She just tagged them with, she was wearing one of their bras, and they're like, we want you in our photo shoot. And they did something she was extremely uncomfortable about. It wasn't what she wanted to do, and then it kind of blew up from there. But she exposed a part of her that so many women carry shame about, and she just started talking about it. And I think that that's the same thing. Like, we need to talk about things that make us uncomfortable. And also just living for years and years and years, carrying all this shame about our bodies, when they are forever changing, they are never the same. Like, you are never the same. Your body does not stay the same.
Well, and I think too, just taking the misinformation that's fed to us through the media about that our bodies shouldn't change, that they should stay the same, or we have to, you know, try to run ourselves into the ground to stay the same, to like our pre-baby bodies, or our fit into the jeans we had in high school, or all these like unrealistic, crazy expectations we place on ourselves. And this real, it's not made up, it's this real feeling of shame surrounding if you're not able to achieve that. And so I think these women, why they've become so influential and why so many people love them, is because they're showing and allowing us to have more presence in realness. The visibility is so important. So visibility in the media of different body types, different shapes, sizes,
no
stages,
shame in any of it.
Showing all of that is so important because we don't see it. And for a lot, like for our society, if you don't see it, it's not there.
And I can even, there's another woman, young woman that is very inspiring to me. And she's kind of, she's a fitness person. She's a trainer. She's an athlete. Okay. She's a holistic nutritionist. And she is extremely fit. And on the other end of the spectrum, you know, people get shamed for having an athletic, beautiful body. And she's amazing. She is strong. Her name's Carabelle. She runs a gym with her friend Joanna called Raise the Bar. And she is so strong, but she's also an advocate for just normalizing where you are and just being the best version of yourself. And if you're into fitness, we shouldn't be shaming you because you're into fitness. And if you're not into fitness, we shouldn't be shaming you because you're not into fitness. It's just, again, just like listening and accepting each other in our uniqueness and where we are in our journey. Nobody knows your story. Nobody knows your why. Nobody knows your challenges and cannot judge. Even though they do, they cannot judge you accurately. Because the only person who knows is you.
Yeah. It all stems from fear of, again, not belonging, of feeling like, oh, wait, this isn't like what it's supposed to be like or what I'm told I'm supposed to be like. So I have to do everything in my power to make myself like that. And if I see people that aren't like that, then that's not something I want to be a part of. Like, I only want to be with the cool kids, right? And
that starts in high school.
Perpetuates that, right? And like we've talked about so much, like I really feel like shame is such a huge part of so many of the issues surrounding our culture and our society. It all stems from shame. And when I think why these accounts and these people are so powerful and reach so many of us is because when you call out your shame and other people are like, I have that same shame, that's my shame too. Like, oh my God, I didn't know that somebody else had those same feelings that I had. And then you have that feeling of not being alone. And that feeling is so powerful in absolutely stomping out shame and making you feel like, oh my God, maybe there isn't anything wrong with me. Maybe all these pressures and expectations I'm putting on myself aren't necessary. Maybe I can like put that down and walk forward feeling a little lighter, feeling a little bit more free, and feeling a little bit more able to completely embody who I am and what I'm supposed to do in this world. Because I think it's so important for people to have peace and freedom is to know that there's so much more than their bodies. Like, you have so much more to offer this world. Like, if we didn't worry about what we looked like, could you imagine the things we could accomplish? How much space
the wasted time. The waste of time.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because I was looking at pictures. I posted some pictures of you as a little girl, and there were pictures of me in it. And I look at those pictures,
Yeah,
and I remember the girl, like I literally was. I was 23 years old.
Yeah, you were so young.
And just the unhappiness that I had about myself. And I look at that girl and think, oh man, what a waste of flipping time. You know, it's just, and really, it's kind of funny. We always get deep, and that's actually, wait, what? That's really what this is all about.
Yeah,
You never know where you're going to go. But I love this conversation, and I want to kind of end well, it'll be a little bit quicker. No, it won't be. We're going to go for a couple of seconds here. I am doing something that I literally am shaking in my boots. I am getting a photo shoot done, and it's by Emmy Lee. Oh, and I don't know how to say her last name. I can tag her. She is a photographer here in Edmonton, and she is amazing. I've been following her for a while, and I'm inspired by her because she's inspired by women, all shapes, sizes, ages, stages. And she put out this kind of call and saying, she called the Crone Sessions. And I think I talked about it. Anyway, the Crone Sessions. And I'm like, I'm in. Because Crones are looked at like in history, like crones now, like people think of an old crone as a grumpy old mean woman, but crones were actually revered and were knowledgeable goddesses. And I was like, you know what, and really Jan Arden says it best. It's like, I'm gonna own my shit. I'm gonna be me. There's no apologies for who I am. I'm an old crone, and I'm really proud of it. So I'm doing this photo shoot in April, and I've never been more excited about becoming I haven't been 60 before. I've never been more excited. I'm so excited about being 60, and I want to celebrate that because, and my heart is, I want women to celebrate right now.
Yeah.
Don't go through and drag all that shame, all that crap that has bogged you down. Celebrate who you are. Am I perfect? I'm real, not perfect. I am flawed and still worthy. These are all catchphrases from Anchored. But you know what? It's true. And I'm so excited. I will share my experience, but I'm bravely going forward, shaking confidently for this photo shoot, because it is not, you know this as a photographer. You know this as a photographer, that it's not what I love to do. I don't love getting my picture taken.
It's hard. Oh.
What? Oh, you have a delivery.
I don't know what's happening.
It's your birthday. Okay, well, you know what? I think that's I think that's our way to say goodbye. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. Sorry for our distractedness, but not sorry. It's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Because I'm real. J-Lo.
Tune in, share, like, do all the things. Happy birthday, Raina.
Thank you. And thank you for making it so special. I do have to say that I am a very lucky individual to have such a caring, loving mom who always tries to make our birthdays so special and make us feel so loved. And she does that every time.
Sorry, my hair matches my earrings. I'm distracted.
Ooh,
okay.
I feel like that's a good color.
Go answer the door.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I gotta go. All right. We'll see ya.